Hello everyone. Today we are going to start the discussion on the control structure in a programming language. There are the three elements in control structures. One is called sequential logic. Second one is called selection logic. And the third one is known as uh, repeated logic. Repeated logic is also known as iterative logic. Yeah, iterative logic. And selection logic is also known as conditional logic. And the first one is a plain logic, which is default logic. Default logic means we do not have to specify and pass any special command to implement the sequential logic. The program lines, this is my source code. Source dot cpp. This is my C++ code file. In this file, I have statements, statement number 1, statement number 2, and the last statement. And these statements are here in this file. When I execute this statement, when I execute or run this statement, this code, then compiler will execute the first line of code. The action on the line number 1 has been performed. After completing the action on the line number 1, the action on the line number 2 is to be considered, and the same way the last line will be executed. So this type of execution is known as sequential logic. Means the program lines will be executed in the manner or in the order in which they appear in your code file. The lines which appear as a first line in your code will be executed first, and the line which is found in the last statement of your source file will be executed in the last. So this type of logic is known as sequential logic. So that is why it is the default logic, because when we run the program compiler will automatically follow this sequential pattern of the program. If you want to break this logic at any specific point, what that specific point is, suppose I am going to amend this file and I have a list of work which I want to execute at a certain condition. If that condition fulfilled, then I have to perform that task, otherwise I will not. Line number 1 will be executed, line number 2 will be executed, and in line number 3 I have if x is greater than 2, then I have to repeat this code. So this is a code segment. This is a code segment which will be executed if the value of x is greater than 2. This code segment will not be executed if the value of x is less than or equal to 2. So there are now the two options. When the compiler found the first line, it is executed. When the compiler found the second line, it's also be executed. When the compiler found the third line, it is a conditional line. Conditional line means it has a group of statement. This is the group of statement under this if. If this condition fulfill, then this code of command will be executed. If this condition is not fulfilled, then this code will not be executed. After completing this, the remaining lines will be executed in a linear pattern. Now here the program ends. This is my source file. So when I execute this source file, line 1, 2 will be executed by sequential logic. When it come to the line number 3, it check condition, x is greater than 2 or not. If x is greater than 2, then these 3 lines will be executed. After completing these 3 lines, this line and then the next last 3 lines will be executed. If this condition is not fulfilled, then after completing line number 1 and 2, these 3 lines will be executed. So I'm just referring the line numbers here so that I can explain it in detail. Line number 1, line number 2, this is line number 3, and it is segment of line 3A. I am referring it as a 3A. 3A is not a single command. 3A is a group command. This group command has 3 lines. This is line number 4, this is line number 5, this is line number 6. So by default, 1, 2 executed. When it comes to the line number 3, check the condition. If the value of x is greater than 2, then all of the 3 lines, 3A, B, C will be executed. After completing these 3 lines, then 4, 5, 6 will be executed. On the other hand, after completing line number 1 and 2, if the condition fail, means x is not greater than 2. X is either equal to 2 or x is less than equal to 2, then these 3 lines will not be executed. Control will pass to the line number 4, 5, 6. So line number 1, 2, 4, 5, 6 will be executed if condition is true. If condition is true. If condition is false. If condition is true, then line number 1, 2, 3, 3A, 4, 5, 6 will be executed if condition is true. Condition is true. So we have a set of work which we want to execute on a certain condition. I am giving in another example here for that. Suppose I have a list of command in my real life. I think I gave this example earlier to you, and that is what, suppose in a daily routine, this is your daily routine. File name is main dot cpp, or main function we have here. This is your daily routine. Monday, you have a list of work. On Tuesday, you have another list of work. But this is your daily routine. But on Friday, if Friday, the routine is changed. Friday prayer. So we do not have to offer Friday prayer on any other day if it is not Friday. Friday prayer is there. So on the daily routine, you have to work for line number 1 and line number 2, the line number 3. And if it is Friday, you have to offer the prayer for Friday. And then move next on other work you have to do. If it is Saturday or Sunday, if it is Sunday, then you have to do another list and close the line. So you can see the condition here. These 3 lines will be routine lines. At line number 4, it checked. If it is a Friday, then you have to move to the Friday prayer, and then these lines will be executed. If it is a Sunday, you have to do these type of work. Otherwise, if it is not a Sunday, you have to skip these type of work, and so on. So this is called selection logic. Third logic, which is very important, is known as iterative logic or a repeated logic. Repeated logic work if we want to repeat any set of instruction, suppose these are the 4 lines. After these 4 lines, I have to mention a condition here. If x is greater than, if x is greater than 2, then go to step 1 and so line number 1 will be executed, then line number 2 will be executed, then line number 3 will be executed, line number 4. These are the sequential lines. Here I have selection logic as well as repeated logic. If value of a, at this stage, the value of x is to be checked. If the value of x, if the value of x is, if the value of x is greater than 2, then program go to the, if x is greater than 2, then go to step number 1. Otherwise, break the lines. So this is the program. Line number 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 lines will be executed. This is step 1. This is step 2. This is step 3. This is step 4. Line number 1, 2, 3, 4 will be executed in a sequential manner. When it comes to the line number 5, it has a condition. This is condition. Condition is what? If the value of x is greater than 2, then do it. Otherwise what? Otherwise go to the next line. Next line, there is no next line. There's a closing bracket, means program will vanish or finish. So if the value of x is greater than 2, it will go to the step number 1. So we have to break this repeated logic by this condition. If condition is true, move to the here. Whenever the condition is true, if x is 2 or greater, if x is 2, then it will stop. If x is 3, it will go. If x is 1, it will go to the step number 1. So this logic is known as repeated. Now we are going to prepare a one complete program regarding the mark sheets. And here we have to define few variables for related to the mark sheet. Marks in physics, a variable pH is created, ch is created, mt is created, and 2 more variables are required, which is total and percentage. So there is no rectangle over there. If you are confusing with these 2 rectangles, there is no rectangle. This is one complete line. I want to just explain these 3 variables are different with these 2 variables. How these 3 are different with these 2 variables? These 3 variables needs inputting. These 2 variables need calculation. So that is why I made a rectangle over there and there, but C compiler or C++ compiler does not discriminate them, because all of these 5 variables are a float variable. Then I need a grade variable. That grade contains ABCD. So that is why I created a character variable instead of integer variable. Then I have inputted the data C in physics marks, chemistry marks. I put that in one line, but this is not necessary to put that one line. So you have a 3 separate lines for inputting in physics, for inputting in chemistry, for inputting in maths. So in detail, I gave this inputting in the last program. I'm not going to mention it here again. Then total is calculated. Physics plus chemistry plus math is equal to the total. Percentage is calculated. Total marks. It means percentage is depend on this total. Total compute first, percentage compute next. If someone put the percentage formula first, then total formula later on, that will be a logical error, because percentage can be calculated by total. Total cannot be calculated by percentage. So this is first statement, then later on this should be. If you change the order of these 2 commands, this will be error. If we change the order of these 2 commands, this will also be an error. Because if I put total first and inputting later on, so this will be an error, because total cannot be calculated before inputting. So all of the steps are at proper stage. You cannot change the order of these lines. If you change the order of these lines, then that will make a logical error or a syntax error in your program. Then from here, a conditional logic is started. If percentage is greater than this, grade is equal to A, the percentage. If command will be later on the percentage command, because percentage is computed first. Then we can check whether percentage is greater than 80 or not. Otherwise, if I put this line first and this is second, so there will be an error. If percentage is greater than 80, then the grade A will be assigned to the variable. If otherwise there is no semicolon, you should have to remove this semicolon, because if I put a semicolon here, this will become error. So if else percentage is greater than 70, then grade B is assigned. If percentage is greater than 60, then grade C is assigned. So this command starts from here, this if command, this selection logic. This is the selection logic which I am introducing here. This selection logic is started from here and it goes up to this point. Selection logic is there. Then we have, after calculating the grade, we have output the variables. So what are the outputs? Total is calculated, and then not calculated. Total is printed, then percentage is printed, then grade is printed. After these outputs, the program finish. So here we have sequential logic, line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 lines in sequential logic. The 6th line is a selection logic. Here the compiler will select whether this is correct or not. If this is correct, then this work has to be done. If this is not correct, then check in another work. If this work is correct, then do this, grade B. If this is not correct, then do this. Otherwise, do this, and then output will be printed. So the last line will comes into the sequential order again and stop. I stop the program. Now I want to introduce a repeated logic here. So in C++, we can introduce the repeated logic by 3 different commands. One of the command is called for, and the next one is called while, and the third one is called do while. Do while. And these are the iterative logic or the loops. In simple, I can call it as loops. So these are the looping statements, and these are the selection statements. The 2 statements are there for selection logic. One is if, other one is switch. And one more selection logic I used in the previous lecture, and that is conditional statement. Conditional statement. So I do not have any of the specific command for sequential logic. So sequential logic is a default logic. So I am just using our default, means no special command is needed for sequential logic. When I execute the program, automatically it will be run line by line. If I want to place selection logic, I can use either if, or I can use switch, or I can use conditional operator. Question mark, I explained in the last lecture, question mark. Condition and a question mark, then true statement, colon, false statement, and a semicolon. This is called conditional statement. So I can use a conditional statement here. Grade B मैं इससे बना सकता हूँ. Now the third logic is the loops. Loops can be created either by for, by while, by do while. It is not completely do, it is do while. So now these 3, I'm going to explain these 3. How these while, do while will be included in the program. Now you can see this slide. In this slide, while the repetition structure or the looping structure. Repetition structure, program specified an action to be repeated while some condition remains true. If the condition is true, then set will be executed. Otherwise, skip that. So do not repeat. So while loop, repeat until the condition becomes false. So just an example, you can see here. I have declared in this example a variable product is equal to 2. So what this do? This is an assignment statement. This will create a variable named product and store true into this variable. So this is called assignment statement. After completing this assignment, a condition is there, while a loop is there. Loop is what? Product is less than is equal to 1000. So how you have to write down the while is a very simple way you can write down the while. While can be written as while in a line, in bracket you have to place a condition, and after condition you have to make a block, and in block you may have one or more statements. If the condition is true, then it comes in. If the condition is false, it goes out. If the condition is false, it goes out. If the condition is true, it executes inside. So this is a loop. If product is less than 1000, yes, it is true. Product is less than 2. Is the condition true or false? It is true. If it is true, comes in and do it. I'm just writing a bracket here just for a simplicity. If product is less than 1000, do it. What this is doing? Product equal to into product. Product value of product will be doubled. Previous value of product was 2. 2 multiplied by 2 becomes 4. Now the new value of the product is 4. Is the condition true or false? It's come again and check. Product is less than 1000. Yes. It's automatically moved to the first line of condition. Yes, 4 is less than 1000. Again, come here and do what? 2 multiply by the product. Product is 4. 4 multiplied by 2 becomes 8. So now the new value of product becomes 8 and comes after completing this statement here. Check it again. 8 is less than 1000. Yes. So do it again. What is doing? 2 multiply by the product. Still the current value of product is 8. 8 multiplied by 2 becomes 16. 16 will be assigned to the variable product. It will be 16 and so on. This loops continues unless I have a number which is more than 1000. If the number is more than 1000, it goes outside of the loop and the loop terminates. So this is called repeated. This program will print the mark sheet of one student. If I execute the program, line number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and last line will be executed, and at these brackets, the program finish. It means a complete mark sheet of one student is printed. If I want to print the mark sheet for 10 students, the one mark sheet will be printed, then next mark sheet will be printed, then next mark sheet. After completing the 10 mark sheets, the program will stop. Or after completing the 5 number of mark sheet, the program will stop. So I have to make some changes in this program. So let me explain that changes. I have to change the first line, this void main void, and I will take this line outside. Outside where? Outside this line. I want to introduce a line here, void main void. And one integer variable is created in line number 1. Integer I is equal to 0. And I am placing a while loop here. While I is less than 5. And a bracket, complete bracket is to be start here, and the complete bracket is to end here, and one complete bracket is to end here. Now I have to end 2 brackets. One bracket is the bracket of main. This is the bracket of main, starting bracket of main. This is the ending bracket of main. This is the starting bracket of while. This is the ending bracket of while. So you should have to be very confident about which bracket is belongs to the which starting point. Now, what is to be here? The variable I is created and the initial value of I becomes 0. And I want to print 5 mark sheets. So I is 0, I is less than 0. So 0 is less than 5. Yes, it is less than 5. Then it comes in and completely print the mark sheet of one student. When it comes at this bracket, it moves to the starting point of main. The starting point of main, I am representing the starting point of, sorry, the starting point of while. I am writing the starting point of while here. So it comes here again. After completing these steps, it comes at step number A. Step is here. I'm sorry, I have to change something. We should have to put this while statement not at this place because this will become an error. So I am removing this. I am removing this while because if I place the while outside this, so I have to, to consider these two lines outside the loop because it is very important. We cannot declare the variable multiple times. That will face an error. Float, physics, chemistry, math, total, percentage, and character, GRADE, grade. So these line I place outside the loop will start from here. Because if I put these statement inside the loop, so this will cause an error, and that error will be what? That error will be now while I less than 5. And a bracket, start bracket here, and this is the end coming to the remaining here. So if I less than 0, yes, it's come here, complete mark sheet of one student is printed. Then when this bracket comes, it connect to the A. A is there, A is here. Then again, another mark sheet is to be printed. And after the second mark sheet, and the value of I is 1. So you have to put a statement here, I is equal I plus 1. So initially the value of I was 0, 0 plus 1 becomes 1. Then come to the second time, I is still, I am again moving this A, refer to the point here. This is A. This is A, where it come back. Check the condition. Now, coming outside from here and comes in here. Again, a test condition. 1 is less than 5. Yes, another mark sheet is printed and the value of I is increased by 1. Then it comes to the A and join here. Value of I will be 2. 2 is less than 5. Another mark sheet will be printed. Then it increase the value of I. I will be 3. Comes to the A. 3 is less than 5. Yes, another mark sheet is printed. 4. Another mark sheet is printed. When it comes 4, I plus 4 plus 1 becomes 5, comes to the A, 5 is less than 5, conditions becomes false. If condition becomes false, it goes outside the loop. So which statement is outside the loop? Outside the loop. This bracket is outside the loop. When it goes to the outside the loop means program will vanish. So after completing 5 mark sheet, after printing the 5 mark sheet, program will